What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the channel today for a special interview. Now, I typically start my interviews off similar to that, and it's special because this work is special, but like this is beyond special because you all don't know how far back me and this lovely woman that has been a friend of mine for years, and I just look at her and I'm just so wowed at everything she's been accomplishing. And this is so long overdue. So I'm just so excited to have my friend who I've never said her entire name like this ever in my life. But Miss Brittany S. Hall. Brittany.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm happy. I'm happy that this is finally happening.
Now, we know each other a long time. So how long would you say? What will be your first memory, or what will be your most distinct memory?
Were we maybe 12, 13?
The prime of our lives.
Yeah, I think that's when we met, and we were just like,
buddies. Running around on base. Would you buy
little badasses?
That's right. Would you ever say that we go as far back as this?
Oh my gosh, yeah. Oh my god! Eighth grade prom. Weren't we all in the same limo?
That's right. So,
wow.
Just to premise that, y'all, we had an 8th grade prom, which I thought was a given, but that's really not. And we definitely went in style. We had a limo. We were doing it big. We thought we were grown, and we were at the moment. Like,
I love that you have that.
Yeah, we go.
I love that you have that.
We go that far back, folks. So, but you know, for the ones who don't have this relationship with her, you may have seen her recently on HBO on Ballers, and now we're here to talk about a project that has been in the works for a few years. The pandemic obviously hit, so you know that put a halt on a lot of things. But now that it's available, and you definitely should check it out. We're going to talk about it. And this film is Tess Pattern, where she is not only as your lead actress, but also your executive producer. And this is the first time that you've had that combo. So overall, now that it's out and you got to this point, taking it all in, how does it feel? What's been the reception for it? And just talk me through it.
It's just like, I'm sorry, I'm looking around like, how do I feel? Where's the answer? It's just like, I didn't really want to give myself expectations, because when we first did the movie, we shot the movie 3 years ago. And so I had so many expectations because while filming it, I just felt like I had this gut feeling like how powerful this movie would be. But there was a couple of avenues that, you know, I guess I expected it to go down, and it just didn't go down that route. And then so after that situation, I was just like, I have no expectations. I'm just gonna have any expectations. And so when it came out, I just remember the moment. Okay, I was sitting on my couch and I was on my phone, and then Shatara texted me the link to the Variety review, and I just like threw my phone. I was like, ah! And I was just like, I was like, oh my God, like Variety reviewed it? Like what? Oh wow. Like I was on a high that night. Like, this is great. That's really dope, you know? And then it just kept rolling out with more reviews and more reviews, and the reviews were really positive. And I was just like, yes. I knew it. I felt this when we were making it. Like, I just had so many messages, like downloads while we were shooting, and I would tell Shatara. But I also got a message that it was going to take a while to come out. And I remember like feeling like, oh, that sucks. But as time went on to prove that message to be true, I was just like, okay, well, you know, in due time, divine time. So I think I think right now, at the time that it came out, had it came out 3 years ago, I feel like there was a lot of fog in the industry.
Mm-hmm.
And it got cleared out through COVID and things. And it gave really independent films like more power and things like that. And I think that it was just all divine timing.
Yeah, as beautifully said. This was filmed back in 18. It was, and I guess you tentatively could say the release was looking at late 2019, 2020, pandemic hit 2020. And I say it all the time to independent filmmakers, especially ones who are with films that have a narrative as such. 2020 was a crazy year, but it was a lot of good because a lot of people were vocal about things, and a lot of people were saying that we're standing for what we believe in, and that's that. And I think that truly opened up the voice and the passion behind independent filmmakers, because independent filmmakers go broke. People don't realize that they dump all their money into getting this project that they want out for them, for their message or whatever to be heard. And it's crazy that a film that already had good legs under it as far as the message back in 2018, 2019, then fueled by the things of 2020 to be released in 2021. I thought it was a no-brainer people was going to take to this, and it proved to be so. I got to see it early, obviously, much earlier than just the recent release. But like, I was very confident of the message being told here and how people were going to take to it. And that's why that sounds like a good thing. We'll talk about it. It's actually a bad thing because this message is still so strong all these years.
Yeah.
And I'll give it to you, but you play the character Ronisha Bell, who is a victim of rape and dealing with victimhood essentially, and just the system around that and how it doesn't really protect women. Mm-hmm. And this is a movie, but it's real life. So I'll let you describe the character and the premise of the film, and sort of say we've got a few follow-up questions to that. But yeah, kind of talk us about Ronisha.
Ronisha, she's, I would say, when you first meet her, I mean, aside from the very first scene, when you, Austin, relax. My dog is right beside me, sorry. When you first meet her, Bubba, cut it out. You really feel like she kind of has it all in a sense. Like, she has her life together and things like that. But I do feel as though, for Renisha, maybe perfection can be kind of boring, and there's more thrill in kind of pulling back and seeing, like, and I feel like Evan kind of introduced her to that. She found his imperfections endearing. Because she was used to creating perfection in her own world. So it's just like, and they just kind of gravitate towards each other. And then I do feel like in ways that I've seen in reviews, some people say that, it's not really explained why they're drawn to each other, but in life, it's the same way. Sometimes you just don't know what it is that draws me to this person. And the next thing you know, you're full blown in love and head on in a relationship, fully invested. And it's just like, sometimes there isn't a why. And I don't know, maybe that is a major part of the movie too. Like, why did this happen to Renisha? You can try to piece it together, and it's just like, let's not focus on the why. Let's focus on not why it happened, but how can we change this and stop it from happening? Like, or if we do focus on the why, if we don't want to completely toss it out, if we do focus on the why, it's like where is this seed coming from that creates these instances?
Agreed. And I just want to say, I think because of the theme of the movie, rethink what you think it breeds through her character.
Yeah.
And you're exactly right. You're focusing on the wrong thing here. And I also think that's why some people would get lost in the conclusion of this film. But if you truly just allow the film to tell the story, it hits you right in the head, and it's so transparent as to what's problematic in society. So, but yeah, continue.
Yeah. And then, so, after the trauma happens to her, she has to go through another traumatic experience without given the opportunity to process what's happening. She's going through the experience of trying to find help, and how traumatizing that is for her, being a Black woman in an interracial relationship with a guy who's reacting in a way of, I don't even know who this person is anymore.
Yeah.
So the whole situation just, it tests her perspective of herself, her relationship, her world, and just like her trust in society too, just everything. Like it's almost like the rug was just pulled from underneath of her and she was just kind of left
Yep.
on the floor. I think the most, like, when I think about this, I mean, I've seen this film, I can't tell you how many times, but it's a lot. It is a lot. The part of me is that is just so heartbreaking is that she was left to wipe up her own pee. I was just like, out of everything that she's going through, of trying to appease her partner and everything, and still left here in public wiping up her own pee. How heartbreaking and hurtful and alone could you feel after going through all that to be left in that experience? So I don't know. Filming this,
you about to go to my right. You about to go to my next question.
I feel you.
You about to go to it.
Filming this was, you know what? There's this saying that when you're too close to the elephant, you can't see that it's an elephant, right? And so while filming this, the experience was beautiful for me, honestly, and artistically. I loved how I got a chance to express and stretch myself in ways I don't feel like I was really given an opportunity to. And so I'm very grateful for Shatara for that, just her trust in the space and opportunity that she gave me. It forever thankful. But also, I feel as though once it was over and I sat in, because the film made me reflect on my own experience and my own knowledge of this kind of story from my own perspective, right? And so it unlocked the door for me that I was just like, oh shit, I gotta go to therapy. You know, and it didn't just help me grow in my art and in my work each day on set, but I continued to grow once it was over.
Yeah.
You know, and here we are 3 years later, and I feel like it's like the beauty of doing the film was doing the film for me, right? Love the experience, love working with Shatara, love working with everyone on set. It just felt so magical. It's the best word I could say it. But then now here we are 3 years later, and it's people are watching it and people are receiving it, and that is just like, I don't know. I don't have words. It's just beautiful, you know?
Yeah. I wasn't going to say it, but, again, we known each other for so long on a very personal level. And like, it was emotional to me watching it because, and I 100% watched it unbiased, but it was so emotional watching it because of the things I know you've been through and seeing that character and the performance you put on was just amazing. But then I had to start questioning, like, this is so dear close to her. I'm so worried about her because this is a reality that's true for some people that's been through it. It's a reality in general, but for somebody I know to have been through certain situations and happen to play this character is a true test. And I think it's wonderful because now, all of Hollywood get to see how versatile you are. But yeah, I knew that this was going to be more of a test than others may seem. And that was going to instantly be my question, is doing something so close and so sensitive to your upbringing and just, your experiences in life. Like, how did you cope out of this? And I know you're really big on therapy. So it was a no-brainer, but I definitely wanted to hear from yourself, like, what was it that you had to do to kind of pull yourself out of this? Because like, it goes there. It really goes there.
So, to be honest, before I stepped into the role, like during pre-production, I was working with a coach who was helping me, really guiding me into creating a story for Renisha so that I wasn't coming from my own trauma. I do resonate with the trauma, right?
Right.
But this is Renisha's story and not mine. So I didn't want to, I had to create her pain and create her triggers and create the things because I'm human. I know what it's like to feel, right? The difference are the circumstances that she feels in her whys. And so I had to know that. And so in creating her world, it allowed me to sit my world aside so that they weren't clashing and mixing and mingling and things like that.
Yeah.
But once I stepped out of Renisha, creating her world made me reflect on my own. Right.
Yeah.
And then, but at the same time, when we wrapped, the first part of filming, I think I had a few weeks off, and then we had I can't remember the time, but we had to shoot again a couple of days in LA. And then as soon as we wrapped LA, I literally had one day off and then had to fly to Louisiana to shoot a different movie. And that was going for a few weeks. So I went from what I would call test pattern being like a very emotionally challenging experience to the following movie I did. It was called How You Might Be the Killer. And it was more physically challenging. It was like night shoots, running in the woods, things like that. So I didn't get a chance to like, it was just like, you know what I mean? Like shift gears, you got to keep going.
Yeah.
But once I did get a moment, I do feel like I had a wave of like shit hit me.
Yeah.
I do. I honestly do. And I had to like really work through that. And I won't say it was because of test pattern, but I do give test pattern credit for just being a part of that journey of opening the door. You know what I mean? Like it did so much.
I would challenge one thing you said, and that's, you said that this was Ranisha's story, but this is really the story of all women. Like,
yeah. But when I say that, I mean it in a sense of separating it from like
making it
my experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And focusing on like, how does Renisha feel? Not how does Brittany feel about this experience? Because honestly, there were moments in the script, prime example, when Drew's character took her home. I remember talking to Shatara and be like, but why would she get in the car? Why would she even let him take her home? And we literally and that was because Brittany was feeling some type of way. But I had to sit down, sit your ass down. Renisha girl. This is how Renisha feels. This is how she sees it. She's in denial. She's still processing. She's just want to get, fight or flight. You know what I mean? And it's just like, oh, okay, got it. And so that's what I mean when I say like, this is Renisha's story versus it being about me, because I would have tried to protect her.
Yeah.
And I can't, in order to tell this story, the story to tell what Shatara, wanted to tell, I can't. And there were so many moments that my mind was really trying to be like, I'm going to create a misunderstanding here because I want to protect her. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
It's a powerful thing that you're saying. I absolutely get what you're saying. 100%. I again, and I think, just that was my struggle with watching it too, is when I was done, I had to get up, I had to decompress, I had to go for a walk, because I had to realize that I was watching Ranisha, not Brittany. And then overall, I just was thinking like, I can't even imagine how many women experience this. And then I instantly remember people saying, or in early thoughts coming out of like, well, why would it end that way? And it's like, that's the problem. Y'all don't understand. That is exactly the problem.
That's part of the message. It is and how it ends. It's that there is sometimes no closure for these women, or they don't have an ending. They're still dealing with this every day. You know
exactly.
what I mean?
Exactly.
And so it's just like, but viewership, they need and happy endings or something for them. But this is for you, but this is also for the the collective, and the bigger message of the collective is that you need to pay attention to the fact that we aren't giving people their happy, and they're not receiving their happy endings. They're not receiving the support and everything that even you clearly see that they deserve.
Yeah. It's a beautiful movie, and your performance is just amazing. No bias at all. I got to premise that because people like, it's just gonna put her over because they're friends. No, it's absolutely good. And I advise people to definitely go out the way to check this out. I just got two more quick questions because I know you're busy, but I do have to bring this up, and I need to know the chemistry with you and your co-star Will Brill. Fantastic, so energetic, so much electricity with you two on screen. Just your thoughts about working alongside of him, and sort of the which I know, but I think it's good for the viewers to know too. Sort of how you all was able to kind of build that energy up for your for filming.
So Will and I, we just feed off of each other and we give to each other. He's such a giving artist. And he makes it very, very easy to just work with him. You know what I mean? He makes it very, very easy to give you something. He gives you so much to work with. Makes your job easier, I would say.
Yeah.
When you have those kind of, partners on film. And we did do some exercise. Shatara gave us homework before we even began filming. She gave us homework. I mean, she created emails for us as the characters where we had to email each other and talk about each other's day. And then we did also, while we were filming, have a coaching, like a chemistry coaching session, really energetically connecting. And like, we were just, I would say in that process, we were locked in and honest with one another. And like, that's what really matters. Like he's very comfortable with his vulnerability. And so, you can just trust him in that sense, especially like in the work. Like you can trust that he's there to, whatever you give, he's going to catch it and he's going to give you something. And so it was very much work, but it was very much like play. It was very much like a dance.
Yeah.
Like,
a sympathy is like sympathy.
Yeah, it was like the energy. It's colorful. I can almost see it. I can feel it. Like Test Pattern for me was such an imprinted experience that when I can literally feel myself still there. Like I'm still connected to the part of me that was there doing it. And like I could still feel his presence, his energy. I can feel the colors we created. I can feel the house that was supposed to be, the character's home. And like I can just feel it. And that's because the energy of what he gives and what we were doing together, it just speaks for itself when it's still 3 years later can live on inside of me,
Yeah. Beautiful. All right, so look, I know you're not sitting around on your ass and not doing anything. So what are you up to? What can you potentially talk about that you have storming up in your brain or soon to possibly be releasing?
I just wrapped shooting David Makes Man, which will be on OWN and HBO Max. Season 1 is on HBO Max right now. If you want to check it out, catch up. It's a really great show. And, other things. Other things. Thank you, Lord. That will, transpire for the world to see.
Keep it look out for you.
Yeah. Trust me, you see me. And doing my own projects, been doing some writing, been doing some directing recently, and now I'm about to write and direct my own stuff. So doing that, so you can be on the lookout for that. And just being great, man. Every day, taking it one day at a time to be great. That's it. Living, just enjoying the journey. Like I'm excited about life right now. I know that there's a lot happening in life. The momentum is like, is feeling good and things like that. And I know people do want to know what's next, but right now I'm enjoying this.
Yeah.
You know?
As you said, you're living your dream, and I'm so
Yeah.
proud of you. I've
Yeah.
always seen this future for you. You were always, I mean, I think all of us was charismatic as kids, but you were always to supersede that, and look what it translates. So it was no doubt that you'll be a big star in Hollywood, and here we are later. So, and it's always a pleasure to catch up with you. And
Always.
now that the world seems to be trying to get to normal, we'll run into each other soon enough. But
We will.
Until then, you know, I'm fully supporting you, and I'll be keeping an eye out as well. Oh, and I gotta ask, because I already know my audience is going to ask. I know, but your buddy David, how is it? John David Washington, excuse me.
Oh, I was like, David.
Yeah, sorry. I know you always got hot things to say, but in Ballers, one of, I think, a lot of people's favorite series that, you know, we wish we had more on, but I know y'all all still keep in touch. So how is it within the Ballers family?
Oh man, Ballers family is just all love. It's really like a family. I mean, we don't talk every day or super often, but you know, we check in on each other, we show love.
Yeah.
I personally know that man is busy, so I just be like, do you think, brother? You know what I mean? Like, busy man, but he, you know, it's always love. It's always love, regardless. And like, last time I spoke to him was when Malcolm and Marie came out, and you know, I'm just really, one thing I can say is that like he works hard for this journey, and so I'm just really, really proud of him. I'm really proud to see like him step into these other characters, and because I know that like he wants to work and show what he can do, and he does work hard even when the cameras are off. Like that's one thing I learned from that man. Cameras would be cut. You see this chair right there, my chair, my black ass would go sit in that and get on my phone. He would have a notebook, and he would be just still working on the character, like writing notes. And it just made me be like, I gotta step my game up. Like, you know? And so like, he's just so committed. He's so committed, and he deserves every bit of greatness coming his way. And that has already arrived.
That is awesome. That is awesome. Well, again, I'm gonna let you get up out of there. I know you got a lot you're working on. Again, nothing but success. I love you. I'm so proud of you. And fans, definitely keep an eye out, because like I can't talk about projects. I know a little something, but you can just keep an eye out on all her socials, as you will know that there's some big things coming. So you know, we're big on energy here. So definitely put that energy out in the air, and you know, some crazy things are going to happen in 2021 for her. So Brittany S. Hall, because this is the second time I've ever had to say your entire name. Thank you for chatting for a little bit today, and fans for tuning in. Thank you for you know, tuning in, and Brittany, we'll catch up soon.
Yes, thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll talk to you soon.